What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I have a very unique guest. He is an executive by profession with a mission to spread awareness of the world's oldest mindful principle, Vedanta. He has been published on the Acoustic Post, Purpose.Fairy, Thrive Global, and Medium websites where he writes about personal development strategies. Please welcome Mitadru Dey. Mitadru, can you please introduce yourself and please tell the audience a little bit about your background? And then we're going to get into all the good, juicy stuff.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Deanna. I have been looking forward to talking to you for months now, because whenever I first got to know about you, and I found you as a person who is almost like a warrior on a mission to bring positivity in everyone's life. It's like you're not going to stop until you bring positivity to the world. So I'm really excited talking to you and also the family of the Label Free podcast.
I love it. That was very sweet. Thank you.
I'm really excited to talk to you. Just quick background about me. I've been born and raised in India and spent most of my life there. And then I moved to New York 7 years back. And 5 years back, I found a small 5-minute video which changed my entire life. And I got to know about Vedanta, which is an ancient Indian wisdom, older more than 6,000 years. And I started being a student of the discipline. And right now, especially since last year, when I saw people have been depressed and stressed, I started sharing my experience about this knowledge via podcast and articles. So right now, as Deanna mentioned, I'm an executive by day, and otherwise, I've been talking to people about this knowledge. I am also a pro bono career coach, so which is also another aspect of my life where I want to help students and professionals to be successful in their career.
I love it. So can you tell us a little bit about what Vedanta, excuse me, I can't pronounce it, what that is? Because I've never heard of that before we had to, initially talked, and I find it very, very intriguing.
Sure. I'm sure all of us have heard about yoga, which is very popular worldwide. So if you really think about yoga, which is it's more about physical exercise, now what about our mind?
Yeah.
So Vedanta is yoga for our mind, which is a principle which will help you be successful at work, be successful with your relationship, your friends and families. Also, it will help you have a purpose in life. So students of Vedanta have 3 P's: productivity, purpose, and peace, which are very important in all of our life. So that's what Vedanta teaches.
That's amazing, and I think that is very key principles for anybody doing anything, really. Can you tell us like your experience and how you've applied that to your life, so that people can understand like what that means, what that would look like, so that we can just educate them a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So it happened last year. I was able to stay at home for more than 7 months, and thanks to Vedanta, and I perform 3 yogas every day. And when I say yoga, again, as I mentioned, it's an application principle of mind. So these 3 yogas are yoga of knowledge, yoga of action, and yoga of devotion.
Okay.
I'll first start with yoga of knowledge. So whenever I get up in the morning, I read about things which is higher in life. For example, to build higher purpose, to be not selfish about what I want, and thinking more about the communities and societies. And we have, so I do e-learning where there are texts which talks about those higher values in life. So it is very important for everyone. Before you touch your phone or any device, you get up first thing in the morning, and that time your mind is very fresh. Then you either listen or watch or read about something which is not selfish, which talks about higher values in life. Now, the key is that you should not read different things every day. There needs to be a structure in what you are reading. So I suggest that you can go to anyone whom you think is spiritual or philosopher and get the guidance and and follow that. Like you have done when you go to a law school or medical or engineering, you just not randomly read any books. There is a structure and discipline. So similarly, to nourish our mind, there needs to be structure and discipline. So first thing in the morning, read that or watch something which inspires you.
Yeah.
Right. One caution is that you should not overdo it. You should not, do more than 1 hour, because you do more than 1 hour, 15 minutes, it is going to impact your brain, and then it will lose the purpose. So every hour, first thing in the morning, you read about higher values in life. And then the yoga of action starts, which is you need to start your exercise. You need to go at work. So at work, before I started learning Vedanta, all my goal was how I can get the next promotion, how I can get something for myself with the expense of my team or the organization. So now, if someone asks me what is my goal in career, I answer that my goal is how I can be of help to my organization to reach their goals, not my goals.
Yeah.
So what happens with that, I have noticed that the moment I shifted my focus from being selfish to unselfish, everyone started recognizing that especially my management, they said, oh, this is someone who doesn't, and I want this, I want that. So maybe I'll give them more responsibility. And you will also notice that, the moment you become unselfish, your productivity increases.
Agreed.
And once your productivity increases, your promotion and bonus and everything will automatically come. You don't need to ask for it. I mean, that's the reason why you think that, especially these days, you have so many scientists and healthcare workers are working round the clock. They don't think about, oh, what my wife will tell, what is my son is doing, but they said, okay, I have to help my community, I have to help. So they're fired with higher purpose, and their productivity shoots to the roof. So that's how I look at productivity or being successful at work.
I love it. I would totally agree. I think I need to start applying some of those principles to my life. How, so you have a couple of suggested questions here, which I thank you very much for. I appreciate that. How a 5-minute video changed your life?
Sure. As I mentioned, before I found this principle, all my focus was how I want to develop myself and how I can be more productive. And one day I was at work and I started thinking about, I'm working for 8 hours, but I'm not as much productive as I should be. Maybe I'm only 50% productive. Why I'm getting distracted by emails and messages. And this happened one day, and I thought, okay, it's just some thoughts, I'll move on. But those questions did not leave me. I started getting those questions more and more every day, like why I'm not productive. And as a next step, like most people do, I started watching YouTube videos. I started reading articles and talking to people. They were all great, but none of those resources helped me. So I was dejected that, okay, I'm not getting anything that would help me to improve my productivity. And then one day, one of my friends forwarded me a video where someone is talking about mindfulness. I said, okay, this is another video I've been watching, and I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
But then said, okay, my friend told me it's good, let me do that. And I started watching it. So there's a person who is in a corporate setup asking how much productive you are. And people are telling, oh, I'm 10% productive, I'm 15%, I'm maybe 40%.
Right.
I figured, okay, I'm not alone. There are other people who are suffering from the same problem. And then he said, do you know why? No one could answer. And he said, because either we worry about what happened in the past, or you get anxious about what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
So we are not at present. So that's causes draining of all our productive hours.
Yep.
And then he said something interesting. He said, do you know from where you can learn how to be productive? And again, no one could answer. And he said, look at your child. Your child has much less strength than you, but he or she is jumping with energy morning, noon, and night.
Right.
After a work day, again, pre-pandemic, you go back to home and your child said, Daddy, I want to play with you. Mommy, I want to play with you. You said, relax, I'm tired. But what you have done, you were sitting at a desk and have maybe 10 cups of coffees, but your child was running around, but still he or she is not tired. So because children don't have worries of the past and anxiety for the future. That was a light bulb moment in my life. And I was so inspired, but there was no name on that video. Like, who is this person?
Right, right.
And I ended up watching that video 6 months on a roll without knowing who this person is. And then one day I just typed on Google, worries of the past and anxiety for the future. And I found that it's my teacher, who's current teacher, Gautam Jain, who teaches Vedanta. And he used to conduct classes in New York and New Jersey, and next to the train station where I used to commute every day. So that's how I got to know about him, and I joined his first class. And then in the first class, he quoted a French philosopher. He said, "Everything has been figured out except how to live." And that really resonated with me. I said, yes, I mean, I know how to, I have a manual for my phone, for my TV, for my laptop, but no one taught me how to live my life. It was taken for granted. So I need to know how to live my life. So that's how it all started. And I found it so beneficial, and people around me started seeing those changes. And then I decided, okay, I mean, this is something people don't know about it. I need to talk about it. How, as a student, it helped me and everyone. And that's my mission in life. And that's how that 5-minute video without any name changed.
So are you coaching people to learn these skills? Is that what you're doing?
I generally, I mean, there are two things. One is that in general, I ask people to join my teacher's classes, which are free weekly classes he conducts on Zoom. And I also coach people on their career, mostly students and people who are maybe 5 to 10 years of experience.
Hey guys, Deanna here. I'm taking a quick break to share an exciting opportunity with you. I have recently partnered with Scotsman. They have created a crowdfunding campaign building 3D printed electric scooters that make transportation smart, elegant, and sustainable. It runs on energy efficient batteries that double as USB-C power banks. And they're swappable too, so you can replace your battery and keep your scooter. Check out their crowdfunding page down below. Hurry and sign up now to take advantage of their early bird prices, 50% off. It has a built-in camera, GPS, live maps, and an automatic lock. So hurry up now, get in on this. Go to my special link below, 50% off, and be a part of this really cool campaign. You won't be disappointed. You know, for me, I've gone through so much, you know, and I do yoga, and I make sure that I read certain things to keep me inspired, and my affirmations and all that. So I think there's a part of this that I probably apply to my life without even knowing. But to know a little bit more, that from talking to you is knowledge is power, right?
Yes.
So you have a question here. What is intellect? I've never asked that question before. What is it?
Yes, so I think what we learn in Vedanta is how to develop our intellect. So intellect is part of our personality, which is rational, which makes us think, which makes us reason, right? So for example, if I'm a diabetic patient, my mind or my emotion will tell, oh, if I see a chocolate mousse cake, I say, I want to eat it. But something in our mind will say, no, I mean, no, you are a diabetic. If you take that, it will be a problem. So that part of our personality is called intellect, which makes us think, because if we don't think, we may end up taking decisions which will regret later in life, right? And we go through so much stress and knocks and shocks in life. So for example, like I was listening to your story, you went through so much, and you could have said, oh, life is unfair, I don't want to do anything. But you said, no, I want to channelize my energy to help people. I want to make changes. So that's the intellect functioning you, where you took a rational stand and take a positive turn in life. So that's what we have been taught, like how to build that capacity. And there are two ways. One is ask questions. Never take anything for granted because someone told you this is how you want to live your life. No, ask questions, and which resonates with your podcast is level free. I mean, you need to go beyond what society and your predecessor and parents telling you. You really need to ask question. If it doesn't make sense, reject that and create your own path.
Totally agree. And I mean, we've seen people like this last year, and I'm not going to get on a whole tangent, but I really feel that people did not ask enough questions this last year. And it has really been debilitating for so many people. And for me, like, I've rejected a lot of the things that like they were throwing at us. I'm like, I'm smart, I'm educated. I know how to decipher bullshit from reality, and I'm sorry, but I'm just calling bullshit on a lot of stuff that happened here. Like, that's it. That's all I need to say about that. And I actually had a conversation with a doctor. She's been on 300 media channels. She's going to be a guest on my show, and our conversation was about how stupid our society has gotten. Like, common sense has gone out the window, folks. Like, whoa, I am scared for our future. But anyways, so going back into the intellect, and you may have already touched on this, but you also say, why should we develop it? Why should one develop their intellect and ask those questions, like kind of like what I just said?
Yeah, I mean, and you're right, because unless and until you develop your thinking capacity, you'll be taken for granted. There are people who are maybe smarter than you, have negative intention, and they'll overpower you, they'll overwhelm your life. See, so what if you have developed your intellect, then you look within and you find source of energy to change your life, by asking questions, by never take anything for granted. And that's what happens, as I mentioned, in the morning when you study those higher values, so that helps you.
Yeah.
So that's your food for your mind to develop. Okay, I need to be unselfish, I need to have a higher purpose in life. And once you have that, then it becomes easier. One thing, also, and you are into exercise, I mean, it takes time.
It does.
This is not something instant. This is not a magic pill you swallow. It takes time and effort, and there is no shortcut. So you need to put effort every day, and then in 6 months or a year down the line, you will see the benefit. Because what I've seen here, coming to the US, here people maybe have more wealth than country like India, but people are more depressed.
Yes.
I hear about drug abuse. Students in Ivy Leagues, they are on anti-anxiety medication. I never heard about it when I was in India, but I know that in terms of wealth, we don't have that. So that's very important. Like, why this is happening? I mean, and
Well, I think it's some of the Western civilization fixed for everything. Let's just prescribe them a pill. But I want to go back to your comment about a higher calling. I feel like, so for me, there's always been something inside me that says I have to, I am meant for more. I am meant for more. I am meant for more. I don't know what that is, but I just have to keep going because there is something greater than me that I'm supposed to do. And, since I've started this podcast, it's just been like, it has been just, there are so many people that are just identifying with my mission or my statement, my purpose, the purpose of it. And it really is, it's kind of eye-opening that there are so many other people like-minded that are like, yeah, they have a higher calling. Like you have a higher calling. You're this Vedanta that's higher than, it's a higher calling. It's something that's a little bit more, I would say, spiritual in a sense. And it's to help, what does it say? It is it's universal in its application and is equally relevant to all countries, all cultures, and all religious backgrounds. The ancient wisdom builds clarity in thinking, which helps you achieve success and progress while you remain peaceful. And there you go. That's the problem, like you're talking about here in America, where let's just, you feel bad, instead of going and finding your center, finding your peace, finding like what your higher purpose is. Let's just cover that up without you doing the work and give you a pill. Like, that's why people are depressed, because there's me. What can I get? Instead of like, how can I help? How can I serve? What can I do to be a better human being and make a better impact on this planet? So that's my little like.
No, you're right, because we have so much to give, and we get so much from nature. Like, we're getting oxygen. You are like hundreds, millions of bacteria helping us digestion and everything happening. There are so many people, because you and me are doing this podcast because billions of people worked on that, on technology, and help us. And we just district and say, okay, what I'm going to get from you. So that's what I've seen. Whenever we meet someone, it's like, okay, If I don't want to get something from that person, I'm not going to meet. And that's the problem, because and we don't realize that, you know, this started negativity in our mind, and that end of the day it impacts our health, right?
Yes.
We
Big time.
have all those, you know, diseases, and then because we are selfish. So again, it's, but yeah, that's my goal in terms of like talking about this, and you have it, because if you really look at, humans have the ability to think, to change things. Why we are not utilizing it? Otherwise we are just living an animal life, because animals are born, they raise their kids, then they die.
Yeah.
Most people do the same thing, right?
Yes.
So
This
how
is
you
very true.
go beyond that, and change your life and change others.
With that being said, Mitadru, where can people find you if they want to reach out and learn a little bit more about Vedanta?
Yeah, so people can we go to our website. Vedanta is Vedanta, vedantausa.org, where our website also has life lessons about different aspects of relationship, productivity, education. They can view those videos, and they can register for our weekly classes taught by my teacher Gautam Jain, who incidentally had studied here, came to the US and rejected jobs on Wall Street because he found
Good for him.
happiness is not, you know, there. So I need to, he needs to, so he left everything and he went to India, studied there for 10 years, and then last 20 years he's been in the US and teaching this discipline.
That's amazing. Good for him. And you're on LinkedIn as well, correct?
I'm on LinkedIn. So again, I'm there. I'm a pro bono career coach. If you need any help on career, I'm always there to help you, because so many people help me. So I definitely want to give it back.
That's fantastic. With that being said, before I wrap things up, do you have any last words of wisdom or advice you'd like to leave with the audience?
Yes. Find a purpose in your life. And how you know that you find your purpose? Two things. One, when you get up in the morning, you should be raring to go and getting out of the bed. Okay, it's a wonderful day. I have to do so more. And then when you go to sleep, you feel, oh, I had a satisfaction day. I'm content. So if you have a good night's sleep, and when you get up in the morning with charge to, you know, change things, you have a purpose in life. So find that purpose.
Woo! That's right, folks. I love it. Find your purpose. It's very important. I will drop all the links in the description of the episode for Mitadru. Thank you very much for being a guest today and sharing all your wisdom. I think it's very actually relevant in today's society. People need to find their peace and their center. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, follow, share, all that good stuff. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.